Welcome back to Trash Panda Off-Road. Today we're going to try to replace the stripped out stud on the front tire of the X-90. In the last couple of videos over the last couple of weeks, we've taken these tires off, put them on my daughter's X-90, taken them back off, put them back onto this X-90. Anyways, in the process of that, I had a different set of wheels under here with the cheap factory lug nuts on them, and unfortunately those things, the lug nuts, go bad, and if the lug nut goes bad and you try to use it again, it will mess up the threads on your stud. And then when you go to put a regular lug nut, or basically any lug nut on here, it will not start. So that stud is bad, so I'm going to replace it. The plan is going to be to knock out a couple of the studs out of this one, since I have it and it's just lying around anyway, and we'll replace the stud on that one. I'm hoping to have to only take off the brake caliper, well obviously the wheel, tire, blah blah blah, and then I'm hoping that while it's still on the rig, I'll have enough room to knock the stud out of the back and put the new stud in without having to take everything apart. So first thing we got to do, we'll go ahead and knock a couple of these out so I have them. I think I have a stud somewhere, and if I knew where it was right off the top of my head, I would just grab it. It's probably in the box of parts that needs to be gone through with the rest of my messy shop. So I'm going to take a quick look there. Then I'll bang one of these out. Then we'll get that tire and wheel off and take a look to see if it's possible to knock a stud, that bad stud, out without having to take the whole thing apart. And just like that, a quick little half-hour project turns into something a lot more time-intensive. So, as I stated, I was going to take the brake caliper off, take the brake off, and see if I was able to just bang these out. And if this was not an ABS car, that would be no problem. But due to the fact that it is an ABS car, that bolt will not back out because of the stupid ABS monitoring plate. Which means I do have to take all of this stuff off in order to bang the god dang lug nut bolt stud thing out. And if I'm gonna do it, I'll probably replace this one. Yeah, it won't focus. There we go. And that one, because those both are banged up pretty good. Man, that's unfortunate. I was able to knock a couple out of here, no problem, out of that one. Just hit them with a big hammer, they pop right out. So unfortunately, now it looks like I'm going to have to get some more tools out and take the hub apart and start really digging into there in order to have to, man, I think I actually have to take the knuckle nut, the special nut that's in there. I think I might even have to take that thing off. I don't know. Broke out the correct socket for taking off that nut. Notice the four pinholes. This one has not been ramrodded by someone trying to use like a pin and a chisel or anything like that. So that's good news. Okay, now that this comes off, see the wheel bearing was over there. I don't know how to separate that, or if it does separate. It's got to separate, but it's probably press fit. It's really tight in there. So we'll go to the method of banging it with a hammer and seeing if it moves and trying to get our dead studs out. It turns out that yes, you can knock off the tone ring for the ABS. It knocked right off of there. And then I banged out two of the studs. Oh, and I'm starting to put the new ones in. There's a couple ways to put studs in. I do have the tool where you put the stud in, you put the tool over the top, and then it's basically like a beveled nut, and then you put a lug nut over the top of that and screw it in, and it sucks the bolt through. But because I already have this thing out, I'm just going to hammer them through the back, and then we'll start putting this thing back together. Got that thing all back together. When you put the wheel nut, axle nut back on with the special tool there, torque it to right around 130-ish is what I do. And then I get the holes to line up to where they were originally, in terms of the nut that goes on the plate. I should have recorded that stuff, but I didn't. I'm sorry. Anyways, it's all back together. We're going to put the wheel and tile back on, and then we'll be ready to take this thing back out again for a test drive. So that's the end. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Hopefully it helped some of you out. Hopefully the rest of you are entertained and are willing to hang out. Subscribe to the channel. Watch some more X-90 content or Geo Tracker content, or hopefully someday we'll get to that Samurai project. Anyways, follow along. Daily updates on Trash Panda Off-Road on the Instagram. Thanks a lot, guys.